Here's the rundown. We've already got in the field the men's discus and the men's and the women's shot put going on. We've got track races, including very, very good women's 400 meters, and a bit later the men's 1500 meters, as well as some excellent and exciting field events.
Tak, aby se dostala řada na větší počet závodníků. Není to úplně sprinterské počasí, protože přece jen ta teplota klesla nějakým 18 stupňů.
Well, in about 2.5 hours time, with a whole series of 200-meter races.
Protože dnes jsou ve hře pochopitelně nejenom ty body za umístění v kontinentální bronzové
towards the end of the afternoon in Kladno, in case you're wondering where it is. It's about 20 kilometers northwest of Prague. Very easy to get to. In the last few years, it's really gone through a beautification program. It was well known for its heavy industry, going back to the 60s, 70s and 80s. But ever since Czechia became independent, it's put a lot of investment into making Kladno really a very good place to go. And one of the good places to go is for discus throwers, because this is recognized as one of the main training centers in Czechia. So, Christoph Nedella from the local Kladno club gets a valid mark in just over 56 metres. Michael Forech, one of a group of very good Czech throwers just below international standard. His brother also competing in this competition. At the moment, leading the way after 3 rounds is the very well-known Romanian Alin Alexandru Feferica. Sent his 2-kilogram implement out to 62.97 with his very first throw of the competition. And he's been over 62 metres with every single other throw, all 3 of them. So we're in the 4th round now. We'll bring you up to date, but chasing Feferica very hard is Stephen Richter, the German. Has a best of 61.95 in the 2nd round. I do apologise, he's just improved. So this is Feferica. Leading the way, the Romanian. As a reference point, the discus meeting record here, held by Mauricio Ortega, the Colombian, 64.28, dates from 2021. So this is Dimitrios Pavlidis, lying in 3rd at the halfway point with 62.27. So then it's no improvement. Well, we're going through the throws quickly. I should have said this is a replay from the 3rd round. We're just picking it up. So Casas, he's got his club kit, Pliers de Castillon, who battling in contention for the European Clubs title just a few weeks ago, and you can see the European Clubs Cup on European Athletics YouTube channel. 62-14 for Casas. That's his best throw in the first half of the competition. As we were looking at those replays, I do apologise. I possibly added a few spoilers because about what comes up in the fourth round. Hopefully we'll see those throws. But we now switch across to the infield for the opening ceremony. Of course, in the middle, the very familiar figure of Helena Fabingarova, former world record holder, and of course, winner of the shot put at the very first World Athletics Championships back in 1983. We've also got the women's shot put going on. Good quality competition, this. 5 women in the European top 20 as it stands at the moment. So Vincent just dropping down a little bit short of the 17-metre mark. So 16.61, slightly disappointing from Vincent. Vincent coming here having got a personal best of 7.76, and even this year very close to that, 7.71. Now Jessica Inchude in fine form. She's gone over 19 metres on a couple of occasions this year, including 19.11 at those European Champions Club Cup competition in Castellón in Spain. So Inchude opens with 17.96. She was 4th at the World Indoor Championships last year in Nanjing. Didn't quite go as far into run, but she got 9th. And now Katrina Maisch, the very good German. Maisch beaten by Inchude on Saturday in Galabao on home soil. She was a World Championships finalist last year in Tokyo, so she opens with 18.26. Well, catching up, we're almost live now. This is a replay of the fourth round. I do apologise, I did slightly spoil it, as Richter did improve just a few minutes ago to 62.35. Richter won here last year. On that occasion, 63.53, respectably close to that meeting record. 62.35. Starting to get into his groove, Richter. European under-23 champion last year in Bergen, the German. Now, Furfarica. Furfarica seems to have been around for a very long time, the Romanian. Competes very often. Familiar face on the international circuit. I really got behind that one. Well, that's probably around 64 metres. That's a good throw from Furfarica in the fourth round. He's really yelling it. Got a good lever on that throw. 63.46 for Furfarica. So that confirms his lead. Only man over 63 metres. No, in the second round now. Maisch. Well, she opened with 18.28, and that looks around the same mark. She looks a little bit disappointed with that. She's come here, having lost to Inchude in Gelabau on Saturday, looking to perhaps turn the tables and perhaps get over 19 metres again this season. But that won't do it. Exactly the same as her first round, 18.28. So we're now in the third round. Katrin Bryskowska. Best Czech throw at the moment. Recently improved to 17.76, but that's shy of the 17 metre mark. Comes from Ostrava, where of course has a fantastic meeting itself, the Golden Spike. So Serena Vincent, season's best of 17.51, which she did in that German meeting in Halle. Very much a great throws meeting in the middle of May. About half a metre short of that, 16.90. And then for Farika, well, is the last to throw in the fifth round. No change behind him in the earlier throws in the fifth round. Oh, that's another good effort. Probably not quite as far as his previous rounds. 63.46. Still a good effort. I reckon well over 62 metres. Nice technique from the Romanian. A lot of interest in the throws. And a bit later on we have the great Czech shot putter, Tomáš Staněk, coming up. Now, no, that drops short of 17 metres, so that's not going to improve her standings. Currently lies third with that 16.90. We're still in Tude and Maish to come. 16.49 in the fifth round. So in Tude, second place at the moment. A little bit behind Maish. Hasn't gone over 18 metres yet in Tude. A very popular Portuguese athlete. Completes very regularly. You can almost guarantee that when there's a within shot put of World Athletics Continental Tour level, bronze, silver or gold, Jessica Tude is likely to be there. 17.97 for Inchude. So 18.28 for Inchude. She's got a lead of 31 centimetres, but fouls out on that occasion. I did a bit of quick research before I came on air, and Maish and Inchude have actually met each other on no less than 25 occasions. And the win-loss record, forgetting other competitors, stands at 13 to Maish, 12 to Inchude. Now, from one German leader to another, Stephen Richter. That's a good effort from Richter. So gets over 63 metres, 63.16. But he's 30 centimetres behind Feferica. And here's a man who's thrown over 65 metres this year. Admittedly, he's done it in the wind tunnel of Ramona. And he's very consistent, Casas. Doesn't always throw 65 metres, but rarely throws badly. Well, at the moment, Spain is having a heat wave, but it's about 17 degrees in Kladno at the moment. No, that's well over 60 metres, but I don't think that's going to move him up from third place as it stands at the moment. Should say fourth place. He's just lying behind Dimitrios Pavlidis. So finishes with 61.26, so finishing fourth at the moment. 62.14. So Pavlidis 62.35 in the fourth round. So Pavlidis finishes with a foul, won't improve on third place, but there is prize money. At the discus, third place gets €300. Might not seem very much when you look at the earnings of the likes of Mondo Duplantis or Noah Lyles, or perhaps even some of the top women, but it's always useful. So, Alexandra Feferica. So just over 60 metres. Don't think that's going to be an improvement for Feferica. But finishes with 61.20. So that brings to the end the men's discus. Now we move to the first event on the track. And this should be a very good one. It's a packed lineup on the track. Got no less than 11 men squeezed onto the track. So on the outside, we've got Mateusz Pavlik, 19 years of age. Also alongside him was Musha Hinovic, a very good pacemaker. Jakub Duducha, first in the European Under-20 Championships back in 2023. Davidic as well, another young talent, 147.32 this year. Justin Davis, second in the European Under-23 Championships last summer when we were in Bergen. And alongside him, Uku Kronbergs, 8 times Estonian champion over two laps of the track. Ronaldo Olivo. Well, Olivo hasn't quite made the breakthrough that everybody was expecting from when he got a 4th place in the European Under-20s 3 years ago, but a talent, without a doubt. On his inside, Jan Vukovic, Adam Marley, Philip Toole. Just 18 years of age, the reigning European Under-18 champion Toole. And on the inside, the Ugandan, Tom Dradiga. So a lot of runners. 3 lanes being shared. Most lanes being shared, I should say. It's only a 6-lane track. Dragida, as a 1:44.59 man, gets the luxury of a single lane. So it's Mujezinovic leading the way, trying to get across the track, just indicating he's the pacemaker. Follow me. Davis to the fore of the main pack. Dragida tucked in behind him. Davis at the stage looking very relaxed. Mujezinovic doing a very good job at this stage. So it's Davis, Dragida, Davidic, I think, the young Czechia athlete behind him, having a really good race as well. So Mujezinovic will just pull over to the track now. Kronberg's moving up. You can hear the crowd urging the Czech runners on, but it's still Davis holding off Dragida. Dragida, 6th in the World Indoor Championships. Seen him a couple of times, had a good sprint finish. Tactically very adept. Now, Dragida moving out, but now starting to tire. It's looking as though Kronberg's is doing well. But it's Davis hangs on, I think, just to take the victory. 1:46.21. Davis had to work hard for that. Tucked in behind the pacemaker and then was never headed. So, season's best for Justin Davis. 23 years of age and one of the real talents. And there's a lot of them, though, of British two-lap running. Dudica, well, given the same time, but split by thousandths of a second on the photo finish. He's a bit frustrated, perhaps didn't get his surge quite right. And Kronberg's, the Estonian, coming through for a personal best in 3rd. Well, Kronberg's previous personal best came at the World Indoor Championships indoors. Looks good, does the Estonian. Olivo getting blocked badly as Dragida starts to tire. But Kronberg's, well, I think there's more to come from the Estonian. And as I say, despite 8 titles, he's still only 22 years of age. Dudica found his way through, had a gap, but didn't quite have the acceleration, the gears to get past Davis. But it was only a few thousandths that split them. There's confirmation of the results. All the way down. Philip Toole, personal best. Well, he's been setting national under-20 records, the young Czechia runner, at 1,500 metres and 3,000 metres. A personal best of 1:47.98. Very useful addition to his portfolio. Not quite a Czechia under-20 record. For Farica, just ended a short while ago. For Farica winning by 30 centimetres from Steven Richter. And completing the podium, Pavlidis of Greece. Good competition, though. 4 men over 62 metres.
Pak se mi to zavřelo a já jsem klidně mohl jít 200 do cíle do čela, ale nebylo jako kudy, takže prostě 46-20, no je to čas, který mi úplně ničemu. A ještě jsem ani nevyhrál tady.
Cítíte, že je
just watching the closing stage of that race. I speak several non-English languages, but Czech isn't sadly one of them, so I'm just going to have to leave you to work it out for yourself. I think you might say he's a little bit disappointed, though. He thought he had Justin Davis.
Mě by, že v tom zářebu a ještě někde, tak doufám, že to konečně klapne líp a pokud mi dám limit na Evropu těch 480, tak si trochu
Davis,
to bude tak
good outing for him.
Děkuju, ať to vyjde.
Díky.
A season's best for the Briton. And we go from one Briton to another. Serena Vincent, now in the 5th round. No change in the two leaders. Maichin and Chude still 18.28, 17.97, but Serena Vincent improves to 17.24. And the young Britons getting over 17 metres on a very regular basis. Needs to make another step up to start making World Championship finals. Needs to be looking at around 1830, 1840, but nevertheless, well, I'm sure that's some very helpful advice from one of the real icons, Czechia athletics and women's shot putting, Helena Fabingarova. So, Inchude had a foul in the 5th round, coming after Vincent, as did Maish. Now, last chance for Inchude. Turn the tables on Maish. And that's not a bad effort. Not a bad effort at all. Well, it's over 18 metres, but it's not really close enough to 19 metres. 18.06. So it's not quite good enough. And Katrina Maish can relax. She's got the victory, thanks to those two opening efforts of 18.28. That may be an improvement for Maish. Shakes her head, but I think she might have gone a little bit further. A lot of the top Czech throwers all train in this Mesky Stadion Selectica, and it really is a mecca for throwers in Czechia. 1861, it's a big improvement. So that's a 33 centimetre improvement. Well, she's been over 19 metres this year, but in these slightly cooling and overcast conditions, that's an excellent performance for Maisha. Maisha, the European under-23 silver medalist back in 2019, and has really done very well to move up into the ranks of the top women in the world. Men's high jumpers just getting ready. Good quality competition, the men's high jump. But first we'll see the women's 800 metres. Like the men's, lots of athletes squeezed into this 6-lane track. Well, we've got 5 women who've run under 2 minutes 2. Quickest in there. Woman who's got a European under-23 bronze medal to her name from 2023. Georgia Maria Despolari of Greece. Meeting record was actually set last year by Veronika Vancado, 1:59.81. Well, this will require a fairly big revision of the personal best by athletes to get close to that. So, saw Matešková on the outside in lane 6, Slavia Prague athlete, Studkova, fastest woman in the field, at 2 minutes exactly, wondering whether she wants to try and break this. Čechova, Nina Vukovic, we're just looking at the Croatian, 8 times national champion Vukovic on her inside. Lebrantova and also Julia Jagashik. Jagashik, 2:01.10 runner at best. Petravskova. There's Despolari, who I mentioned. Not quite the quickest in this field. 2 minutes and 32. Set that time only a few weeks ago in Brussels, so she's in form, perhaps looking to maybe pivot into the top 20 in the Europeans. Of course, we've just had a fantastic women's 800 in Stockholm at the weekend. Audrey Ferro, 3rd fastest time ever, 1:53.98. And Keely Hodgkinson, not that far behind, at 1:54.33, both British and Swiss records. On the inside, we haven't really mentioned the 2 women on the inside. Gloria Cabango of Italy. Cabango, just 21 years of age. And Laura Bilo of Belgium. Bilo's improved, has run under 2:02 as well. So on the outside, it's the pacemaker, Elvasanen. Vukovic on her back. It's a big bunch there. Elvasanen getting quite a way away from them. The women behind her don't fancy the pace very much. They're just sort of settling into their stride. Vukovic, the tall Croatian, and Despolari showing well at the moment. Well, going through in 59.31, decent pace. It's what I'm sure that she was asked for. That's a good pace. It's going to just outside 2-minute pace. It's still Vukovic working hard at the front, doing the same as Justin Davis did in the men's race. She's been at the front ever since they broke for the inside, and she's controlling things now that the pacemaker's out. Despolari, though, we know has got a quick finish. Also Cabango, the Italian, coming through. There's 6 women all in a line as they're coming into the home straight. Vukovic doing really well at the moment. Despolari hasn't got the speed in her legs. I was a little bit surprised about the way Despolari's tiring, but there's no doubt at all. It's Nina Vukovic takes the win in 2:02.06 unofficially. Just over a second outside her personal best. And that was a good controlled race from the Croatian. Doesn't seem too out of breath either. I'm just wondering whether she wishes she might have stayed a bit closer to the pacemaker. However, Studkova, the Danske Blandskro club, second, didn't quite have the gears to be able to overtake Vukovic, but a good outing nevertheless from the young Czechia athlete in second place, and Kambango coming through strongly for third. So closing stages of that race. Just a little bit surprised Despolari, having run personal best last month, wasn't quite up there with the action. Nevertheless, good run from Vukovic. Went to the last two European and World Championships. Didn't get out of the heats on those occasions, but she's looking as though she's a better athlete than what we saw in Apeldoorn and Torun. Need to raise a game though if she's to get to the final in Birmingham in August. But Nina Vukovic takes the victory today, 2:02.05 for the Croatian. All the way down, personal best. Give her a shout out. Petra Helebrantova, 2:05.27.
Katrin, máte krátce po návratu ze Spojených států amerických, tak jak se vám dnes závodilo?
Dneska se mi závodilo strašně, musím říct, ale jako aspoň ta 17 padla, tak aspoň něco.
Jak vůbec hodnotíte ty výkony v letošní sezóně, protože už jste si posunula osobní rekord za 17,70, tak i kde vidíte ten největší progres?
Tak řekla bych, že největší progres byl v pořádném tréninku, protože jsem znovu poslední rok úzce navázala znovu spolupráci s českým trenérem, takže si myslím, že v tom byl největší posun a jak to šlo samo, no.
Cítíte, že by mohla třeba letos padnout i ta 18?
No, já upřímně doufám.
Tak ať se to podaří, děkuju.
Děkuju.
So we're just listening there to Katrin Grishowska. Competes for the Vitkovici club from Ostrava.
Pavlo, vy jste si na 500 budovala dobrou pozici pro závěrečný útok. Jak vypadala ta poslední 200 z vašeho pohledu?
Tak já jsem měla pocit, že už nemůžu tak jako třeba 400 do cíle, jak je hodně chladno, nebo aspoň na mý poměry, tak to bylo hodně těžké. Ale jsem ráda, že jsem uhájila vlastně to druhé místo z loňského roka a ten čas si myslím, že je na tyhle podmínky super.
Děkuju vám.
Děkuju.
Splendid. We see this so often at meetings nowadays. Well, the javelin took place this afternoon. These are some of the best performances. Oh! So, Stefan Sipek.
Bronzový medailista v Banské Bystrici z EOFu 70:42. Štěpu Šindelář atakuje své životní maximum. Bohužel Krukovský před chvílí vzdal svůj druhý pokus, nevím, jestli to je z důvodu taktiky nebo z důvodu zranění, ale teď Šindelář 72:62.
So Josef Sindelar improves to 72.62 in the third round. Now it's the turn of Martin Konešky. Konešky, an 81-meter thrower at best, and he's thrown that this year. If I remember rightly, I think he threw that at the European Throwing Championships in Nicosia, and we were delighted to see him break through and go over 80 meters for the first time. I hope I'm right saying that.
Konečný 76-73. První dva borce výšku a Konečného dělí povopových 6 cm. Oslavil 22 a na jaře si hodil 79-71. Dobře trefené do vlákna.
Have to retract that. Konešky actually threw it as his last meeting just over a week ago in Prague, his personal best. As we look at Jan Vyška. That was 76-79 for Vyška.
Počasí velmi nevýhodné pro technické disciplíny. Štěpán Škorpil si tady užil s kladivem, nicméně výkony skvělé.
Dawi Schmidt, the South African.
Mám dojem, že na běžecké disciplíny toto počasí není takovým protivníkem. Bohužel kameraman mi tam.
Oh, that's the first throw over 80 meters in this competition. Good effort from Schmidt. It flies out.
Kolem 65, 64, 67. Čili to je na výsledný čas nad 4 minuty. No uvidíme, jaký bude další průběh, kdo za to vezme především a
that's well over 80 meters for the South African. Good start from him.
Minuty 20.
Třetí Martin Konečný,
82.08 for Schmidt. That first round throw stood up, but he did have a further throw over 80 meters as well. Martin Konešky, probably a little bit disappointed with his best of 76-73.
Jsem rád za to třetí místo, protože
coming in the first round.
Je to takovej, jak je to v Česku, tak to beru jako domácí, tak jsem rád, že aspoň takhle to dopadlo.
V sezóně už jste překonal 81 metrů na memoriálu Josefa Odložila, tím jste si vylepšil osobní rekord. Tak v čem vy vidíte největší progres?
Letos určitě je to, zlepšili jsme běh s trenérem jako na rozběhu, takže se cítím v tom líp a loni jsem měl třeba výkyvy, že jsem dokázal na závodech házet i 73, 71. To se teď zatím daří, že mám všechny závody nad 75, takže pak z toho se dá hodit nějaký větší výkon, když máte větší výkonnost na vyšších metrech.
Větší výkon, nakolik je vlastně teďka váš potenciál?
To těžko říct. Já bych chtěl letos překonat 83-metrovou hranici, ale uvidíme. Doufám, že tam něco ještě je.
Hodně štěstí. Děkuju.
Moc děkuju.
Well, Konešny went to the World Championships last summer in Tokyo. Didn't get out of the qualifiers. Still to prove himself on the international stage, although he did make the final, finished 12th at the European Championships back in 2022. Now, Lionel Afanstrasser. The Austrian. So Strasser crashes out at 2:10, and the same fate befalls this man. Matthias Kudli. So far got 4 men over. Adam Tomaszek, Jan Steffler, the World Championships bronze medalist from last year. Joel Clark-Kahn bouncing back after injury. There's a lot of good performances domestically in Britain in the last couple of months, and Tobias Poche. Poche, well, been around for a long time, Poche. Former world under-18 champion once upon a time. Oh, well, this high jump competition is going to end very quickly the way this is going. That's a no height as well for former world under-20 champion Antonios Merlos. Now, Merlos had a good indoor season, finally improved his personal best after 8 years from those days, but it's crashed out here. Getting congratulations from Joel Clark-Kahn. So disappointment for the Greek. And Portillo. Well, Portillo, younger brother of the World Indoor Championship silver medalist Eric Portillo, who we saw in action in Stockholm, getting... Stockholm? No, Rome, sorry. Saw him in Rome. Portillo hasn't quite got the same credentials to his name, but he's really a talent. We saw a lot of him on the indoor circuit. And we did stream many of those Central European high jump events that were coming to you from the lights at Banska Bystrica in the Slovak Republic, Husta Peče in Czechia. Well, I don't believe it, I've got to be honest. These are men, with the exception of perhaps Kudli, who should be flying over this height. And certainly he did have the height, but he just took off too far away. Portillo fortunately hasn't made the trip to Kladno all the way from Mexico just for this meeting. There'll be a few more opportunities for Portillo to redeem himself. So now the women's 100 metres. First event, very much a domestic event. Klára Sabonzinkova, best of 2:10. Slider, Teresa Krysova, both women running for the Dipoli club. Today's Markova, 11.75 runner at best from the famous Slavia Prague club. Klára Sabokova from the local rivals, Dukla Prague, 11.67 woman at best. Stepanka Klararova, .11.86 her best. And the Ostrava's Vitkovici club, sponsored by local steelworks. I know that, having been to Ostrava on a number of occasions. Eliska Sedlakova, 12.05, and on the outside, Sofia Chiari Del Prete, just 18 years of age, from the Olomouc club on the outside. So we've got a couple of women who've gone under 12 seconds. You have to say Sabokova, person we should be looking at. However, Safrankova, 11.90 recently. So it's the two women in lanes 4 and 5, Sabokova and Savrankova. Medium record 11.14. Well, that might be challenged in the next race. I have my doubts as far as this particular race is concerned. So a good start from Sabokova in lane 4. Also doing well at this stage. Markova, one lane to her inside. Coming through strongly though in lane 6. Kolarova. That was a well-measured race. She wasn't the quickest out of the blocks, but ran a good second half of the race. Stepanka Kolarova. So the trip to it from Ostrava, which is, well, it's a couple of hours on the train, was well worth it. 12:10. Just looking for a wind reading. Not quite sure what the wind reading was. Still looking around on my monitor for a wind reading, and also I think it was -1.2. They quickly dashed past the infield monitor. Seen it now. Doesn't bode well, unfortunately, for fast times in the next race, but we have got a very good lineup.
Přes 60 metrů, osobní rekord, pární starý 61,44.
Always nice to win, especially if you've got friends and family in the audience. There we go. Full lineup. Stepanka Kolarova. 12:10, just holding off the fast starting Yana Savrankova. 12:14. As I said, no wind reading on your screen, but I think as I saw it on the infield, it was -1.4 meters per second. Well, Jan Steffler, lot of interest. He's one of the real attractions of this meeting. I think from the look of on your face, you can see he made a little bit of hard work of it at 2:15. Well, the world lead is 2:33 by Dmytro Lysenko, the Russian, but as he's ineligible, owing to Russian sanctions, it's Jan Steffler who leads the way of eligible athletes, 2:32 indoors and 2:15 here. Steffler becoming a very popular figure. I was just chatting with him a few months ago, and he was telling me when he retires, he's not going to go into coaching, doesn't fancy that. He's going to open a chain of car garages. He said he's a very useful mechanic. I'll believe him. So, Tomaszek. No. So Adam Tomaszek. Crashes out. 3 failures at 2:15 for the young Czech. Tomaszek, well, as I say, we did see him competing indoors. Has a best of 2:20, so that would be a bit of a disappointment for him. So now the main race, let's say. Oh, we're going a bit rogue. We should have had the women's A race of the 100 metres, but it looks as though we've changed around and we're going to get the domestic B race in the men's 100 metres. Oh no, I can see we are going to get the women's A race. I was confused by the caption for a moment. So on the inside, Nikola Bendova. Personal best of 11:41. Competes to the University Sports Club, USK Praha. On her inside, Maria Ignacia Montt from Chile. Third in the South American Championships last year. She's improving 11:33 her best, which she set at those championships. Natalie Kozatskankova, 11:48, but she's been running close to that this year at 11:49. The Vitkovici runner. Magdalena Stefanovic, second in the World University Games last year, the pole. Set a personal best last year of 11:25, but she ran 11:26 just a few days ago in Bydgoszcz, so she's in good shape. Now, Rebecca Haase, 33 years of age, and she sets a personal best for the first time in 8 years in St. Paulen last week. Runs 11:04. Nora Lindahl, good Swede, seen her on quite a few Swedish relay teams, now 22 years of age. Klara Karerova. Kaderova, just 17 years of age. She could be amongst the favourites for the European Under-18 title coming up. And of course, European Athletics will be streaming every minute of that event from Rieti in Italy from the 16th to the 19th of July. But for the moment, Rebecca Haase, stalwart of the German relay teams, hasn't got any major championship individual medals to her name. But if you just look down her list of accolades, she's just been a wonderful servant of German athletics for more than a decade. Won gold at the European Championships on home soil in Munich as part of the 4x100 metre team. Has got a couple of World Championship relay bronzes and an Olympic bronze from Paris, and quite a lot of near misses. Back in 2015, she was the double European under-23 champion over 100 and 200 metres. Keep an eye on Rebecca Haase. The German goes in lane 5. Haase got a sluggish start. It's on her inside. It's Stefanovic who's running well at the moment. Haase's got a lot of work to do, but she's charging down Stefanovic. Lindahl closing, but it's going to be the pole. Magdalena Stefanovic, who takes the win. And I think you can tell the wind is definitely in their face. That's going to keep the times down. 11:54 for Stefanovic, 300ths faster than Haase, with Lindahl just a little bit further back. Yeah, I think they felt the wind, which was a bit unfortunate, because if it had been in the other direction, I'm sure we'd have seen some really quick times. So Stefanovic carries on the Polish tradition in this event, including a win by Eva Swoboda back in 2022 when she ran the meeting record of 11:14. Haase, well, poor start from Haase. She was never able to get back on level terms. But a good run from Stefanovic, who confirmed a good form of just a few days ago in Bydgoszcz on home soil, running near personal best of 11:26. There's the confirmation of the times. No personal best, as you might expect in that strong breeze in their faces. Stefanovic wins with 11:54. Haase second, 11:57. Lindahl third with 11:64. Those are the women who complete what's traditionally known as the podium. Well, if you're enjoying this live stream, let me give a plug for the other European athletics live streams to come up in the coming days. So we just watch Jan Steffler get the crowd behind him. Tomorrow we've got the City of Lisbon meeting, and then 3 meets on Saturday coming to you from Nice, the Dromia International Sprint Relays meeting, and the Innsbruck Specialist pole vault competition, which is called the Golden Fly. But, well, this year it's going to be a long jump in addition to the pole vault. Flying just now, Jan Steffler really dominating this competition. 3 jumps, 3 clearances. Just Thomas Potier still in the competition. Thomas second, Clark Kahn doing no better than their first time clearances at 2 meters. 2 meters 10. So Tobias Potier. Ah, yes. I have to say that was his 3rd attempt, so he's behind Steffler on countback. I'm just wondering whether the wind is causing problems. Anyway, Potier lives to fight another height. Took the high jump silver medal on home soil in Munich in 2022. Was 5th at the World Championships the following year in Budapest. So the women's javelin is getting underway. So this is Ezra Turkmen of Turkey.
Třetí místo Dimitrios Pavlidis, the 3rd place, 62.27. Place 2nd, Steven Richter, 63.16.
You're javelin there.
63.16 pro německého diskobola
Up to 58.86.
A vítězem se stal
Nico Ishimura, the Brazilian, struggling to find a form at the moment. 46.90 in the first round. Now Petra Sikarkova. Abandons that runner as the crowd gets behind Steffler, and he's over, nicely over. Good jump at 2:22. Comfortably clear from the Czech. I'm looking around to see whether his coach, the famous Jaroslav Barber, is in the audience. Yes, there he is, and he's looking quite pleased. Steffler doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. So, 2nd attempt at 2:22 for Tobias Potier. 2013 European Under-20 champion, still going strong, still very competitive. Bit of a grimace, it's not really quite there for him. This is 2nd meeting of the year, 2:30.18 in Bergen, just a couple of weeks ago. So 3rd and final attempt if he's to stay in this competition. Now Petra Sikarkova.
Rekord meetingu, o ten se aktuálně dělí 4 závodníci. Edgar Rivera z Mexika, Jeff Vermeiren, loňský vítěz, tedy Belgičan, jeho krajan Thomas Karma a také Máč.
Doesn't look very happy with that.
224 cm. To je výška, kterou si pamatujeme. Teď je nastojených 222 a je to výzva pro Tobiase Popího.
So just over 60 metres so far this year, which she did in Spain just a couple of weeks ago, 60-60. Now, Thomas Poicher. Oh, and he's gone clear. Now, it was showing that was his second attempt, but I am very sure that's his third. It was a good jump though, plenty of height for Poitier. Shorts are nudging the bar, but there's no visible sign of movement. Good jump from Poitier. Yeah. Oh, that was indeed his second attempt. Perhaps I shouldn't be so doubting of the results. So the bar will go up to 225. Just 2 men in it. Jan Steffler. Going through this competition quickly. This will be a meeting record. Held by many people over the course of the year. 4 men who've jumped 224 in Kladno over the years. So, Steffler for a meeting record. And probably a small bonus as well. No, not on this occasion, his first. Took him too far away, I'd say. I'm sure his coach, Jaroslav Barber, has a more authoritative view on things. Well, this is the men's 100 metres, but getting underway very shortly as well. In the field will be the men's shot put, one of the highlights of this meeting. This is the first of 2 races, and as we saw with the women's events, it's predominantly a domestic event. So this is Jan Froilek. Froilek, just 18 years of age, and the even younger Filip Marek. Marek is a real talent. 18 years of age as well, Marek. He's run 10:46. Bodika, 28. He's able to command the third lane, but only just broken 11 seconds, that coming a bit earlier this year. Another 18-year-old, Denis Ciprian. It's a 10:81 man at best. Jan Tuacek, just 17 Tuacek, youngest of all of the competitors. Maciej Vanek, second fastest man on paper with 10:76 to his name, sporting the famous maroon Dukla Prague kit. And on his outside, 17-year-old Adam Shapotki, with Daniel Schweck occupying the outside lane, number 8. So keep an eye on Filip Marek, the youngster in lane 2. Quite impressive. So as they settle down from the inside, Frolic, Marik, Vodika, Cyprian, Turček, Vanek, Zapotsky and Sarek, and all Czech 100 meters. Well, it is Marik who's away quickly and now starting to put a little bit of daylight between himself and the field. Coming through strongly, though, as Marik starts to fade. It's the Dukla Prague man, Vanek. 10.83 for Vanek, just outside of his personal best. So Vanek, 21 years of age, comes home in front. Jan Turček, Sporting Pibram Club, coming through 3 men under 11 seconds. We'll see a much quicker race coming up very shortly in a few minutes' time.
Dámy a pánové, a v sektoru výšky se dějí veliké věci, protože už 2 závodníkům se podařilo překonat a posunout zase hodnotu.
So Marik started so well, but then just started to tire over the second half of the race. Couldn't hold his form, and it was the 3 men on the inside lanes that came through strongly, led by this man, Maciej Vanek. Wouldn't have had far to come from Prague, as I said. It was only about 20 kilometres away. There's the full lineup. Vanek, 10.84, Turček, 10.90. Those are the first 2 men home. Now, Spires Potier for a meeting record. The German. Oh, and he goes clear. Potier turns the tables and throws down the gauntlet to Jan Steffler. Well, his jumping's been ragged so far, but with the bar raised to 2:25, that was an excellent jump. And he's very pleased indeed, so he should be. Not the most ideal conditions for really good jumping, but that's a meeting record. Now, Jan Steffler to respond. And he does admirably. Sails clear. Huge amount of height from the World Championships medalist. Makes it look easy. I can tell you it's not when the bar goes up to 2:27. Really focused and got everything right. Needed 3 attempts, as you could see there, to get over. So the bar in the high jump will go up to 2:27. In the meantime, we have the men's 100 metres, a race. So Thomas Dvořák, not to be confused with the famous world champion in the decathlon by the same name, or indeed the famous composer. On his inside, Tomáš Tlaskal. Well, you've just seen his Dukla Prague clubmate go take a win in the B race, and Tlaskal follows suit. Probably a bit of a tall order. Tomáš Lisek. He occupies lane 3, the man from the Vitkovici club. Benedikt Thomas Wallstein, just 21 years of age, has run 10.24. Not been that far away from it this year. He's running well. Emil Botterman, a personal best about a week ago, over 200 metres in Brussels, 20.70. So he's running well. Dan Kovac, another Dukla Prague man, best of 10.42, and you've got that this summer. He's in good shape. Armin Natamo. 10:49 at best, and Temo. And on the outside, Guillaume Crespi. Now that season's best isn't right. He actually ran 10:23 in Salamanca on Saturday. Now Salamanca is at altitude and those are warm conditions, but he's in good shape, is Crespi. So from the inside, Voršak, Tlaskal, Lisek, Valstein, Botterman, Kovac, and Temo and Crespi on the outside. All eyes are on the Spaniard, 6th at the European Championships 2 years ago in Rome when he set in the final his personal best of 10:18. Currently Spain's #1 sprinter. Interesting to see him seeded to the outside. I was perhaps expecting him to be in one of the middle lanes. I'm wondering if they haven't heard about his Salamanca run. And Crespi is away very quickly indeed. Also doing well, Volstein in the middle. Crespi now charging down. Volstein getting away. And I think it's the German Volstein who just gets in ahead of... No, it's Botterman. Botterman in lane 5, who just pips Volstein and Crespi. Just wonder how much Botterman knew about what Crespi was doing in the outside lane. That's a good run from the Belgian. Wait for the official time. 10:37. Again into a slight breeze. Crespi 10:39, not that far away from his Salamanca time. Volstein 10:50, a little bit shy of his seasons and personal best. Volstein, I don't think got the best of starts. Maybe we'll have the opportunity to look at it again. Crespi certainly did get a good start. Volstein picked up quickly, but Botterman turned on the afterburners at about 60 metres. Crespi was closing on him without a doubt. But Botterman brought his form that got him a 200 metres personal best just a week ago. He also ran a leg on the Belgian national record team in the 4x100 metres when they went off to the World Relays in Gaborone as well. So in shape. Emil Botterman, 10:37, just edging out Guillaume Crespi, 10:39. A little bit further back, Benedikt Volstein, 10:50.
Já osobně dneska jsem ten vítr úplně tolik nevnímal, i podle větroměru to bylo asi 0,1, ale spíš jsem to dneska nějak úplně psychicky netrefil. Už v rámci toho běhu jsem se cítil tak jako zvláštně, jsem jako plul v prostoru, říkám, já vlastně běžím, takže dneska to nějak úplně nesedlo.
Přesto jak hodnotíte ten úvod sezony, ve které už jste si posunul osobní rekord na 10:42?
Tak ten úvod ten byl krásný. Před týdnem na Memorialu odložila, tam si nemůžu stěžovat, takže doufám, že na to navážu a budu pokračovat směrem snad dolů.
Hodně štěstí.
Děkuju.
So Jan Steffler, 2:27. It's not there. Well, brings the bar down 3 times. Does get a share of the meeting record with this man, Tobias Potier, but Potier turned the tables with that first time clearance at 2:27. Third and final attempt for the German. No, it's not there on this occasion. Potier, good competitor. Be pleased with that. He's only had 1 outing so far this year, but to go 2:25 in not ideal conditions, although the sun is starting to creep out now, and the spits of rain that we were promised look as though they've stayed away. But Tobias Potier takes the win with 2:25. So, Jana Vankova in the discus. I should say the javelin. Third round. So that's a round. Well, a bit difficult to see because there's no lines there. I was going to say just a bit shy of 50 meters, 46.77. That's much closer to 60 meters for Louisa Tremel. $54.96 for Tremel. That's the third round. 54.98 to a name from the first round. Now, Turkmen. Powerful Turkish thrower. Gets it out closer to 60 meters. I think that's going to take the lead. It's much closer to the 60-meter line than any other effort I've seen. Yes. 58.57 for Turkmen. Now Sikakova struggling a little bit. Not ideal conditions with the gusting breeze either for javelin throws. Drifts out to the right, left-hand side. Drops down. Well, I'm looking at probably around 56 meters. $56.68 for Sikakova. Now, moving along into the fourth round of these pre-recorded highlights. Louisa Tremel. Well, I think that could be an improvement for Tremel. Had a best of 54.96, 98 I should say before. I think that's a little bit further, meter or so further. 55.81. So finishing off the throws in the fourth round of the women's javelin. And this is the men's shot. Simon Bazur.
Z Velké Británie tady startuje už po několikáté. Uziel Muñoz z Mexika, stříbrný z mistrovství světa v Tokiu. A Tomáš Staněk, který nám dělá dlouhá léta velkou radost.
1925 for Mazur to get his account started.
V krátkém sledu druhý sprinterský závod uvidíme kvalitní závod mužů na 100 metrů.
Harp. Huge talent, young talent. Uses the rotational technique, very strong. That drops down at around 19 meters exactly for the 2024 World Under-20 silver medalist. Now this one caused a bit of an upset last year when he won, Scott Lincoln. And that's a good effort from Lincoln. $20.40 for the man who started out life as a bricklayer. So the women's 400 meters, the first race, just coming up. It's the first of two races.
domácí Alžběta Železná, ve druhé dráze nastupuje Karolina Mitanová ze slovácké Slávy Uherské Hradiště s kvalitním osobním rekordem 53,85.
Mariana Koksálova, 55.37, and she's done that this year. Now the 17-year-old Anna Turovska. She could be on her way to those European Under-18 Championships that I've mentioned a couple of times already. Eleska Promesova, 19 years of age, best of 55.11. Now the fastest woman in this field, Karolina Mitanova, 53.85 Mitanova last year. And Alberta Zelezna. So from the inside, Zelezna, Mitanova, Promesova, Surovska, Koksálova and Chemlova. Mitanova running in lane 2, already starting to close down on Promesova on her outside. At this stage, Mitanova running well. Surovska, well, she's in lane 4 at the moment, but as we come into the bend, it'll be interesting to see. It's definitely between Mitanova and Surovska as they come into the home straight, and Surovska, well, doing very well around that bend and has now pulled away for a very significant win. Surovska, just 17 years of age, what a talent. 54.88 for Surovska. Not very far from a personal best. Surovska, good outing for the Olympia Brno athlete. I think there'll be a lot of athletes looking at that and thinking, what a talent. And of course, Czechia at the moment have absolutely fantastic talent in Lourdes Garcia Manuel, took the world indoor title. Well, Surovska last year, as a 16-year-old, actually won in her personal best time, so Light's coming to Kladno. She won the B race on that occasion. She's only just turned 17, so she will be eligible for the European Under-18 Championships. And Czechia have got a huge reputation in those age group championships in the women's 400 metres. Of course, the women's 400 metre record is still held by a certain Jamila Kratochvilova. Oh no, that's the 800, isn't it? Martina Kotrou has the 400 metre record. Should be better. So, Uziel Munoz, 20.02. This is Thomas Stanek, now 34 years of age, Stanek. Stanek, very much one of the big, in every sense of the word, characters of Czechia athletics. European indoor champion back in 2021.
Staněk zatím 19.08, byl to takový zahřívací pokus. Jdeme do druhého pokusu v koulařské soutěži.
metrů má 5 neměřených pokusů. 5krát zapsala křížek. To se také nevidí.
1925 in the first round. Roughly around the same distance for Mazur.
A konečně jsme se dočkali 60 v soutěži po štěpařek. A byla to naše Petra Sičaková, přátelé, která se trefila do pokusu.
A bit better, it has to be said, from Mazur.
Železná ve druhé dráze nastupuje Karolina Mitanová.
1973. Not always easy to tell the differences. Stanek, 1908 in the first round. A little bit below par from the Czechia thrower. Part of the local club, but that's much better. That looks as though it's well over 20 metres. That could be challenging. Scott Lincoln's first round, 2040. So Munoz of Mexico over 20 metres with 20.02. That's bang on the 21 metre mark. That's a huge effort from Stanek. He likes it. 21 metres exactly. So big season's best for Stanek. Now the women's A race in the 400 metres. Person to look out for, Charlotte Heinrich. She goes one of the inside lanes. On the outside though. Katrina Smilarova. This is Virginia Troiani. Troiani we've seen as part of many Italian 4x400 metre relay teams. This is the woman who last year took the European Under-20 title. Took that in Tampere. 51.24. She ran indoors. Olacek on her inside, the Croatian. She's actually faster than Heinrich on personal best, but hasn't run that quick this year. Holubarova on the inside. A little bit further back on personal best from the three visitors from Great Britain, Croatia and Italy. Holubarova, 50.05. And then on the inside, Slezakova, 54.53. So an interesting race this. Heinrich, the woman in form. Troiani, quicker on personal best times, as is Draujasic. From the inside, Slezakova, Holubarova, Zalacik, Heinrich, Troiani, and on the outside, Smilarova. Heinrich in lane 4 has gone out quickly. So too on her inside, the Croatian, Draujasic. Heinrich, just 19 years of age. Looking good at this stage. Heinrich, great form. So it's now Heinrich starting to impose. She's straining and she's struggling though. She's got company, but she'll come into the home straight in the lead. And it is Heinrich out in front. And now she's starting to pull away and put daylight between the Croatian and the Italian on either side of her. Heinrich pulling away, and this is going to be a good run. Is she going to challenge her personal best? Just outside it. 51.82 for the European Under-20 champion, Charlotte Heinrich. Heinrich, hailing from the Invicta East Kent Club down in the south of England. And it's a long way away yet, but she's probably going to be one of the favourites as well for next year's European Under-23 title, which will be in Bydgoszcz in Poland. have to just double check. She might even be eligible for 2 goes at that under-23 championships. But in the meantime, she's very happy, I'm sure, with her win here. Good 400-meter win. Picks up €1,000. She had to work hard around the bend. Drashevic and Troiani on her inside and outside were challenging around the bend, but her strength and talent showed down the home straight.
Skončila soutěž u štěpařek, ty výkony jsem vám říkal. A je prima, že Petra Sičeková se přes 60.
Big grimace from Charlotte Henrich, but she knows that the rest are a long way adrift, and indeed the results confirm that. Charlotte Henrich, 51.80, more than a second back. Virginia Troiani, 52.90, and then a further half a second back. Veronika Drashevic of Croatia. Good win by Henrich. Here's the men high jump confirmed. Not a particularly great meeting, despite the meeting records for Poche and Steffler. Poche taking the accolades on the basis of first-time clearance at 2:25. Then third equal, Tomaszek and Clark Khan, only 2:10.
Honzo, dnes jste si vylepšil sezónní maximum na 2:25. Vylepšil jste i rekord meetingu, tak jaké z toho máte dojmy, pocity?
Mám radost samozřejmě, protože s tou technikou se teďkom trápím, proto jsme s Jardou zvolili nedávno jsem skákal v Římě na diamantovce, skočil jsem tam 2:20, což 3 roky po sobě jsem v Římě skočil 2:20, takže jsme si říkali, že prostě potřebuji skákat, abych se vyskákal, a vlastně jsme to zvolili jako takový tréninkový závod, že místo tréninku, aby jsme skákali v Praze na stadionu, tak si jdeme zaskákat tady do Kladna, a jsem za to rád, protože už jsem začal trefovat některé ty skoky a věřím, že každým závodem to bude lepší a lepší. No.
Co je zatím špatně v té technice?
Dá se říct všechno. Já jsem strašně zesílil a zrychlil, a ono, než si to sedne s tou technikou, ono i ten rozběh, jak jsem rychlejší, tak to nabíhám rychleji a je tam strašně moc proměnných, aby to bylo prostě ideální, ale jak si to sedne, tak věřím, že to může být hodně dobrý.
Hodně štěstí, děkuji.
Děkuji.
So Jan Steffler unpacking what went right and also perhaps what went wrong with his second place in the high jump. So we've got the men's shot in its early stages and the women's javelin coming close to a conclusion.
Největším meetingem je zlatá tretra, ale kladenské memoriály Kladno hází
the former world champion Helena Fabingarova.
Vašeho názoru, proč jsou důležité pro české atlety?
Protože dneska tady meetingy jako zlatá tretra a vůbec všechny ty velké konkurence ve světové atletice je tak hrozná, kdy dneska je vlastně víc zemí než OSN, je prostě jako v atletice. A to pozvání pro ty atlety, kteří třeba mají našlápnuto, tak je snazší dostat je na takový opravdu kvalitní meeting, který je bronzový v té kategorii. Já jsem vždycky měla ráda, a já si myslím, že to je skvělá příležitost pro ně, aby si zazávodili a mohli si třeba udělat do Birminghamu nějaký ten limit a tak. A já jsem ráda, že jako patronka to podporuju a budu to podporovat. A já sama jako závodnice jsem je měla tyto meetingy hrozně ráda. A chtěla bych říct, že jako mě velmi bolelo to, co jako se říkalo, že naše atletika je tak a tak. Ne, já jsem to řekla už loni. Dejte nám trochu času, ty naše mladé hvězdy musí dorůst. A je to tady a já atletiku miluju, takže i dneska mám z toho meetinku hrozně dobrý pocit.
Děkuji vám.
So we're back in the shot put and it's Simon Mazur. Went out to 1973 in the second round. This is his third round effort. That's well over 20 metres for Mazur. Nice effort from the pole.
A skončil nám oštěp žen, vyhrála Petra Sišaková výkonem sezóny 60-98.
That will be a season's best for Mazur.
Kateřina Emily Šmiloverová dráze 6. Ale pojďme postupně od 6. dráhy. Tam právě nastupuje Kateřina Emily Šmiloverová.
Oh, that's a great effort from Scott Lincoln. That really is a very, very good performance. That's 20.5 meters. 20.38 for Lincoln, just 2 centimeters shy of his first round effort. Now Sikakova, European under-23 silver medalist last year.
A konečně jsme se dočkali 60 v soutěži.
That's white flag. She's looking pleased with that.
A byla to naše Petra Sičaková, přátelé, která se trefila do pokusu a výkonem 60 metrů.
Well, it's over 60 meters. She's gone over 60 meters already this year.
Kde do vedení vyšoupla z té první pozice.
It's coming, as I say, in Spain. Just about 10 days ago. But I think that's a bit further.
Atletické akademie Lídy Formanové.
So Tremel. Drops down just short of 60 meters at around 58 meters. 57.41. Well, 60.98 in the first round proved sufficient for Petra Sikakova to take the win. I've been surprised it set a personal best there. I've got it down, having thrown 62.12 in Spain a couple of years ago, back in 2024. Nevertheless, so this is the first of 3 400-meter races. This is David Bix of the Kladno Club. Patrick Sorm was on his outside. Sorm, a very familiar figure from European athletics events. Horacek has improved this year to 46.66, the Slavia Prague man, for making it 3 Dukla Prague runners. Andrzej Lupal. Pretty evenly matched on current form. Not really very much to choose between just about everybody, really. I wouldn't want to put the mantle of being a favourite on any of these 6 athletes. Fastest man in the field is Patrick Sorm, but that personal best of 45.41 came a few years ago. It's a pretty even start. Perhaps the man on the outside, Desensky, is away the quickest. Desensky has been around for a long time. 32 years of age, Desensky now. Someone we've seen on various European athletics live streams, now making up the ground on his inside, David Bix. And it is Bix who's in form, having run 46.36 just a short while ago, just a few weeks ago. But it's 3 abreast Horacek, Bix and Sorm, and they're battling away. Horacek in lane 2, now starting to tire a little bit. And it is Sorm who's coming through. Experience telling down the home straight. Just inside 47 seconds for Patrick Sorm. He's a little bit disappointed. Nevertheless, very useful. And a host of medals as part of Czech relay team, Patrick Sorm, and his experience showed there. Coming through strongly over the final 50 metres. Well, medals in the mixed relay in Budapest with the Czech team, and also the World Indoor Championships in 2021, 2017 and 2015. And 46.80 today. He comes home just in front by 1/10 of a second. His Czech rival for supremacy and clubmate. So the bragging rights, at least for today, go to Patrick Sorm.
Petro, vylepšila jste si osobní rekord na 60,98, tak co tomu říkáte?
Tak vylepšila jsem si osobní rekord, který nemám ve světových tabulkách, jinak mám vezeno 62,12, což je ještě metr a kousek, ale myslím si, že je to na dobré cestě. Já jsem se teďka hodně trápila s technikou a se vším možným, ale změnili jsme s trenérem rytmus, dali jsme tam o 2 kroky víc v bočním běhu, takže s tím ještě trošku zápasím. Vlastně to byl jediný pokus, kde jsem chytla ten správný rytmus a seply mi nohy, ale furt to zdaleka nebyl jako dobrý hod, byl jako hodně doleva přetažený a z pomalého rozběhu. Takže si myslím, že tam je jako spoustu prostoru pro zlepšení a doufám, že třeba za týden na zlatý tretře to bude ještě lépe.
Ať to vyjde, děkuju.
Díky.
I think she was just correcting the fact that it wasn't a personal best there, but still a very fine throw for Petra Sikarkova. Just a little bit away from the meeting record, but held by the great Barbara Spatakova at 64.34. Scott Lincoln having a good competition. Remeasure. 20.99. He wanted 21 metres to his name to equal Thomas Stanek. And he would have gone in front of Stanek on countback. And I am seeing that Stanek has retired, which I'm a little bit surprised about. And that's given a target for Scott Lincoln in the shot put. Maybe Lincoln can upset the odds once again in the final 3 rounds. So now this is the A 400 metres. Milan Scribani on the outside, 22 years of age. Here's Matej Krysek. Got very close to 46 seconds this year, just a 500ths away from it. Now, Sam Reardon, lot of interest in what this man can do. He's opening his season here. Last year in Madrid, he was a late caller and then blasted around the Madrid track to get maximum points for Britain at the European Team Championships, and into the bargain set a personal best of 44.60. Mohamed Kunta, also in form, 45.38. Kunta. We had Nielsen of Denmark in lane 2 and Ricardo Melli in lane 1. Both men having run under 46 seconds, both in their lifetimes, their career best, and also this year. So once again, we've got a lot of men who are in form. Every single one of them have run under 46 seconds this year, with the exception of the man in focus, Reardon, who's making his season debut. meeting record. Anas Mohammed Yahia of India takes back from 2019, 45.21. Can these men approach it? Well, we've had meeting records in the high jump. Earlier in the program, we had a meeting record in the men's hammer as well. That was this morning. And Voldemar Mishlachuk through 78.93. Can we get another meeting record in this men's 400 meters? The last of the three races. So from the inside, Meli, Italy, Nielsen, Denmark, Kunta, France, Reardon, United Kingdom, Krisek and Skibrani of Czechia, representing the Kladno and Vitokovice clubs respectively. Well, Reardon started well. Very even start at this stage. And now he's starting to run down ever so slightly. Krisek on his outside. Getting up on the shoulder. Kunta's ran an extremely good first half of the race though. Kunta is right up on the shoulder of Reardon. It's looking as though it's Reardon and Kunta. France versus Great Britain. Now Kunta starting to pull away around the second half of the bend. Now Kunta entering the home straight. And he's looking and running like a man possessed. Absolutely fantastic performance from the Frenchman, Mohamed Kunta. 45.33, just a shade outside his personal best, just a shade outside the meeting record. The season's best for Mohamed Kunta, and that'll give him great confidence for the weeks ahead as we go towards the Birmingham 2026 European Athletics Championships in August. Reardon struggled over the final 100 metres, slipped back to fourth. That'll have told him a few things as he shakes his head. But Kunta was the clear winner there. 45.33 for the Frenchman. Nielsen, 46 exactly in second place. Almost more than three quarters of a second further back. Almost 3/4 of a second. Kunta just pours it on down the home straight. This is an impressive bit of running from Kunta in not exactly 100% favourable conditions. Gusting wind. Yes, it is reasonably warm out there. It's about 16 degrees now. Just wonder whether he'll be able to get a lane at the Paris Diamond League final coming up in the coming months. He'd love that, and that would really spur him on. In the meantime, possibly has to settle for places around the World Athletics Continental Tour, gold, silver and bronze meets. But that was a great run and certainly made the trip to Kladno very worthwhile. There you go, confirmation of the results. Kunta 45.33, Nielsen 46 seconds exactly. Scribani 46.14, leading the Czech contingent home. Not too far away from his recent personal best.
Milane, jak jste spokojen se svým výkonem, jak se vám běželo?
No, jako, kdybych měl být upřímný, tak vím, že jsem tam udělal pár chyb, takže úplně, abych byl spokojený, to asi nemůžu říct. Samozřejmě ten čas je docela slušný a pořád jako je ještě začátek sezóny furt, takže je co s tím dělat, takže si myslím, že jako dobrý závod a určitě si z toho něco vezmu.
Jaké chyby si vyčítáte, kde jste nabral ty setinky navíc?
Mně přijde, že jsem to jako opatrněji rozběhl, pak ta vlastně třetí zatáčka mi přišla, nebo ta druhá zatáčka mi přišla taková, tak jako, že to moc neběželo. A i na rozcvičení jsem se necítil dneska úplně nejlíp, že jsem tam taky trošku experimentoval s něčím, takže to nebylo úplně vhodné.
Hodně štěstí do dalších startů.
Děkuji vám moc.
So back to the shot put. This is Lukas Škoba. And that's well over 20 meters.
pátý na halovém mistrovství světa v individuální čtvrtce, taktéž i 8. Takže v 5. Patrik Šorm, ve 4. dráze poběží David Bix.
Skoba, best of his series, 19:44 in the 5th round. 3 men over 20 meters though, including this man, Uziel Munoz, 20.02 in the first round, his opener, but that's further, without a doubt. World Championships finalist Munoz. .20.41 for Munoz. Keeps him in 3rd place though. Stanek retired after the 2nd round. Just hope everything's all right. Just congratulating Scott Lincoln. No improvement for Lincoln over the final 3 rounds. He'd fouled both of his last 2 throws. So Stanek wins by 1 centimetre from Scott Lincoln. 20 meters exactly. 20.99 for Lincoln. And Munoz from Mexico. 3rd with 20.41.
To má asi ve voku, když jsem vyhrál o centiák. A za týden mě čeká tretra, takže lepší pošetřit cíly, no.
Jak jste se cítil při tom pokusu, který mířil přesně k 21 metrům?
Já jsem se dneska cítil jako hrozně divně, no, protože já jsem v týdnu řešil ještě trošku po odložilovi, že to bylo takové, jak to nebylo úplně nohama, tak trošku jako natažený prsní sval. Takže dneska samozřejmě ještě jak bylo hnusně ráno, tak to tak jako trošku to tam běhalo. Tak si říkám, snad mě to nebude trápit dneska, protože jsme kvůli tomu museli odvolat jeden trénink házecí. Ale jako jsem nadšený, jako v té rozcvičce ta byla teda horší než na odložilovi, ale cítil jsem se dobře, takže jsem si říkal, když se otočím, tady je rychlejší kruh než tam, takže házel jsem tady vlastně v týdnu a udělal jsem si sezóňák, tak jsem si říkal aspoň tak, ale že to takhle chytnu, tak to jsem nadšený, no.
Je to asi dobrý vzhledem k vašemu sebevědomí do další sezony, že to prostě jde nahoru.
Jo, tak hlavně je to dobrý, že je to druhý závod, že to jde takhle jako nahoru, což jsem fakt jako nečekal. Říkal jsem si, kdybych dal třeba těch 20 pade a víc pokusů kolem 20, budu spokojený. Tohle je samozřejmě super, že já nevím, jak jsem mě to byl ani s limitem, ale asi teď už mám ostrej, takže dobrý. Tak za to jsem taky rád a hlavně, že to postupuje, protože fakt jsem se cítil tak nějak jako divně. Říkal jsem si, doufám, že mě to neskrečuje a ona to byla asi forma.
Děkuju a gratuluju.
Děkuju moc.
Well, Tomáš Stanek has got a European bronze medal to his name from 2022. Seems to produce most of his best performances indoors, though. European indoor silvers on 2 occasions. European indoor champion back in 2021. He'll be up there battling for medals, I'm sure, in Birmingham in a couple of months' time. So, the men's 1,500 metres. This could be a really interesting, exciting race. I'm hoping we're going to see some really good running and perhaps a few personal bests. Leading the way, James Gormley of Ireland has a best of 3:36. It's a big field squeezed into this track. To be honest, I think it's too big. We've got no less than 15 men on this 6-lane track. Probably 12 would have been better. Nevertheless, everybody wants a run. It'll be interesting. We haven't heard what the pace is, but I would imagine it's being set up for around 3:36, 3:37, looking at the calibre of the athlete, and that'll suit Gormley just fine. So James Gormley, the man in focus. now 28 years of age, was 5th at the World Under-18 Championships back in 2015. Actually was British in those days, but has switched allegiance to Ireland a couple of years ago. A whole spate of personal bests indoors, was running well. His second outdoor outing. Stayed in the Czech Republic. He ran 3:41.32 in Prague 8 days ago. Four runners with career bests under 3:39, including this man, the Slovenian, Markalej. Now they're out at the far side. There's not much protection from the elements, but the wind does seem to have died down. There's the high jump medalists, all four of them, since there was a tie for third place between Adam Tomacek and Joel Clark-Kahn. Meeting record going to Tobias Potier and Jan Steffler at 2:25, but depth was not great. Third, 2:10. So drafted in, the fastest man of them all actually, with a 3:33 personal best, Mohad Abdikader Sheikh Ali, the Italian. Big group of runners. Gosh, this looks like a 10,000 metre start. Big variety of Czech bests, and then on the inside, the runners from across Europe who've been invited. Gormley, Jon Lobles, who's improved this year to 3:38. Marques set a Slovenian record in Prague on the 1st of June, finishing in front of Gormley, so they know each other. Well, going to have to be careful here. There's a lot of bodies out there. As I said, possibly far too many. Lauder up there. Lauder from Belgium, Tim Calles from Germany as well, adding more of an international flavour. So Sheikh Ali doing a good job. Just taking them through at this stage, working hard. Just behind him, Calles, Gormley, Lauder. There's the men behind the pacemaker. And we're at about 3:40 pace. We'll get a 400 metre split, and that'll give us a bit more of a definitive idea of how quickly they're going. But Sheikh Ali doing a good job at the moment, 59.49. So they're looking at around 3:42 pace at the moment, but it will speed up over the final lap. That's as good as given. So still Sheikh Ali doing a very good job, but this pace has strung them out. There's men in there from the mid 340s to the 350s in there as well. Those are the local athletes at the back. This fast pace has meant that they've been able to get out of trouble, the leaders. Still on course at this stage for about 340 to 341. Sheikh Ali doing what he's been told to do. He's out at front. Lobles, younger brother of the well-known João Lobles, the Dutch middle distance runner. Up there, Markalej as well. Gormley nicely tucked in third place of the main group, forgetting the pacemaker for a minute. They're going to come round and hear the bell shortly. So we're looking for them to go through the bell in around 2:43 and put them on the course for about 3:40 with a fast last lap. It's a fraction slower than that. So now it's the Slovenian record holder, the newly minted Slovenian record holder in second place. Lobles in front though. Lobles, personal best of 3:38, which he also set recently. And it's now Lobles stringing them out. Markalej following him, then a gap back to Gormley. The rest seem out of it now. Now Gormley's got a lot of work to do if he's to claw back the deficit on the leading two. Markalej trying to get up on the shoulder of Lobles. Lobles now pulling away. Lobles comes through the line in 3:43.27 unofficially. Markalej a little bit further back. Good tactical race there from Lobles. Nice bit of head-to-head racing. Plenty of opportunity for fast times later on in the year. Lobles battling a little bit with the wind as well as Markalej. 3:43.26, 3:43.54 to Markalej. Gormley a little bit further back. I think Gormley will be disappointed with that run. 3:45.54. Bit of drift of what I think he was probably expecting to do. Personal best in fourth place for Spiros. Well, we weren't really looking further back than the leading trio. Spiros just shaved a few hundredths further back down the field as we look at Lobles having the opportunity just to ease up in the final 10-15 metres, knowing that he got Markalej well beaten. A good run from Lobles. It didn't seem to be too taxed by that outing either. Lobles now 22 years of age. A couple of outings to European Age Group Championships. He takes victory in Kladno in 3:43.26. Markalej 3:43.54. Just about 5 seconds shy of his recent Slovenian record. And James Gormley has to settle for third on this occasion. So now the last events of this Kladno Memorial International Athletics meeting. The reason it's a memorial is because each individual event is actually named after a local athletics personality who's no longer with us. So we've got 3 races for the men and 3 races for the women. Of course, we'll have some of the women who were in the 100 meters earlier doubling up. Just getting ready. About to go to their marks very shortly. And if you're enjoying this World Athletics Continental Tour bronze meeting, well, tomorrow we have a World Athletics Tour Challenger meeting, the City of Lisbon meeting. That's me transliterating. Then on Saturday we've got the Nikia, the famous meeting in Nice. Saturday as well we've got the Dromia International Sprint and Relays meeting coming to you from Greece. And also on Saturday, the Innsbruck Golden Fly Series, which is a jumps-only meeting and includes the long jump. Sunday, the Foxham Grand Prix Sollentuna meeting. So plenty to look forward to. We've also got, of course, the action never really stops on the European Athletics digital channels. The European Athletics Under-18 Championships coming up between the 16th and 19th of July. And then, of course, the jewel in the crown of European athletics competitions, the 2026 European Athletics Championships coming to you from Birmingham. So, this is the first of the women's 200 metres. We just saw on the outside Koshinskova. Then Lamakova, Bendova, Kolarova. Just looking to see whether we've got Ella Rashin out there. And then on the inside, Barbara Hock, 17-year-old who's improved to 24-21 this year. On paper, it should be between Bendova in lane 4 and Lamarkova. Both women run well under 24 seconds this year. So Bendova is indeed away quick, starting to, well, I was going to say starting to close down on Lamarkova, but Lamarkova, without 100 metres in her legs, is now starting to pull away from the field. Closing down Koshinskova, but it is going to be Lamarkova. She's already run 23:47 this year, and that's a personal best. Let's just double check the wind reading. But I think that's a personal best for Teresa Lamarkova. Unofficially, 23:42. Understandably, very happy. So a good run there from Lamarkova. Rasanen didn't look very happy with that. Bendova just drifted back. We're expecting more of a challenge from Bendova. Maybe was feeling the 100 metres which she had earlier in her legs. Bendova finished 5th in the 800 metres earlier. Now here we can see Bendova started well, but then Lamarkova starts to pull away. Really work hard. Good running. Well, Zunskanskyova closed her down quickly. The track ran out, and Lamarkova got the win. That'll be a very pleasing result as well. She competes for the local Kladno club. So, Lamarkova, 23:40.
Jste ještě před sebou měla Nikolu Bendovou.
Blbě. Říkala jsem si, že se hlavně nesmím nechat utíct na začátku a nechala jsem si to utíct, takže jsem ráda, že to dopadlo tak, jak to dopadlo.
Jak jste spokojená s časem, který je vaším novým osobním rekordem 23:42?
Já jsem hrozně překvapená, já jsem to vůbec nečekala ještě s tím protivětrem, takže jsem hrozně jako vděčná.
A jak se takhle závodí na domácím stadionu?
Skvěle, já se sem vždycky strašně těším, ale ještě nikdy jsem tady neběžela takhle dobře, takže jsem ráda, že se to konečně prolomilo.
Děkuju a gratuluju.
Já moc děkuju, taky nashledanou.
And a shout out as well for the young 17-year-old Barbara Hock, who got a personal best in 4th place with 24:18. I think I might have been confused because there was a late redraw which didn't come through on our screens, and Kochanskánskova was a non-starter, and it was indeed Bendova who did come through for the 2nd place in 23:41. It was Bendova who was pushing Lamarkova all the way down the home straight. Usually getting late changes, which I have to be honest, can throw me a little bit. I do apologise. Try and keep you up to speed with everything that's going on. Lamarkova also got a personal best into a 1.3 meters per second wind. So here we go, the men's A race. So this is Eduard Kubelek from the Atletica Jihavla club. Andres Masic and Andrei Kurda on his inside. This is Kurda, 20 years of age, has improved this year to 20:89. Now, these are tough conditions for personal best running, as you saw in the women's race, even though there was a couple of personal bests. 1.3 meters per second wind in their faces. Just the 3 men. Looks like we're missing a couple of the other athletes who we were expecting, including Volstein, the German who ran in the 100 earlier. Well, good run from Masic. Masic in what's now the familiar Dukla Prague shirt, battling away with Kubelek. A good run from Masic. 21:01. Masic. That was a good run from him. Strong run in not ideal conditions. 20:99, the only man under 21 seconds in that race. He's on his outside. Kubelek had a good start. It was down the home straight that Masic went through the gears and pulled away. Masic. Nice racing from Masic. Well, We had two men who didn't start, but Andres Mashik, 20.99, winning that three-horse race, if you'll pardon the pun. So here we have some hammer from earlier. This was this morning. So this is Hallgrimsdottir. Icelandic athlete, recently set a national record in Nairobi in April, 73.88, and finishes strongly with just over 70 metres. Hallgrimsdottir, 70.89, leading the way. This is the fourth round. We're showing the best throws from the three women. Charlotte Payne, British international. That drops down well over 70 metres. She was chasing a mark of 73.73 by Jakobsen in the third round. Not quite there. She's pacing around. I can tell you that that mark was 72.18 and came in the fourth round. This is the winning throw. I've already told you the distance. Katrin Koch-Jakobsen won the European Throwing Cup for the second year in succession, 8th at last year's World Championships, and she got a good mark in the third round at over 73 metres. Excellent effort from the Dane, the two-time European Cup champion. Nicely thrown, real long levers on it. 73.73 for Katrin Koch-Jakobsen, who's really starting to turn into a very fine thrower, able to challenge the very best in the world. And there's the results from earlier. Three women over 70 metres, and we saw all three of their best throws. And this is the men's event. So this is an early throw from the local Kladno athlete, Martin Burjan. Drops down close to 70 metres for Burjan. Doesn't look very impressed with it, but 69.12. Not that very far away from his personal best, which is just over 70 metres, 70.50. So this is Gregoric, the Croatian. At a best of 75.51 at this point. This is the last round, and that, well, it's around 75 metres. Has he added centimetres onto his best? So 75.92 for the Croatian, Gregoric. So season's best for Gregorovich, who was a World Under-18 champion back in 2013. This is Krzysztof Francouzakis. Francouzakis, also a man who's got plenty of European and world age group medals to his name. He's an Olympic finalist. That's a bit further. So that was in the 5th round, 76.09. But the man who dominated with 4 legal efforts over anything anyone else could do was this man, Volodymyr Myślechuk. Myślechuk, Ukrainian-born, now domiciled in Czechia after the war, and competes for Dukla Prague. That's the 3rd round. And that's a meeting record. 78.93, you can hear the infield announcer saying. That's more than a metre onto the previous record set way back in 2006, when it wasn't even the Kladno Memorial meeting by Lukas Melic. 77.52. There's the full set of results. Myślechuk winning with 78.93.
Spokojen s výkonem k 79 metrům.
Dobrý den, dobrý den. S výkonem jsem spokojený, spíš dneska jsem zamíroval tím, že chtěl udělat rekord meetingu a počasí malinko to nevydrželo, ale s tím výkonem je spokojený.
Hodně pršelo během soutěže kladivářů, tak jak moc to ovlivnilo váš výkon?
Až tak moc ne, ale když jsem toho člověka, toho sportovce, je taková ta fyzická forma, tak myslím, že jak by i dneska by to i sněžilo, tak až by tak moc by to nevadilo.
V této sezóně už jste premiérově v kariéře přehodil 80 metrů, tak jak moc vám to dodalo sebevědomí do sezony, která bude v srpnu vrcholit mistrovstvím Evropy?
No právě ta 80 je důkaz tím, že můžu házet. A to byla taková pro mě magická hranice, tak jsem rád, že jsem to přeskočil. Po té 80 šla taková teďková druhá fáza přípravy na tu Evropu a snad se mně to podaří se to malinko uvolnit a řeknu takhle v konci sezóny to předat malinko navíc.
Děkuji. Ať to vyjde, děkuji.
Děkuji taky.
Well, it's time for us to say goodnight from Kladno. We hope you enjoyed the last 2.5 hours from the Kladno Memorial International Athletics meeting. We've had meeting records, we've had great performances. So from me, Phil Minshall, see you again soon.
Maximem a osobním rekordem 21.45.